a minute and find our sit bones and just lean a little bit forward into those hips and a little bit back and a little bit forward again. And then as you come back, find at what point you begin to feel your spine grow nice and tall. Lengthening through the crown of your head, lift those shoulders up, draw them back and down, taking a nice deep breath in. Letting it out with a big sigh. And just settling in to easy pose. Noticing what's happening with your breath. And noticing what's happening with your thinking mind. Is the mind busy? Are you holding your breath? What would it feel like to turn your attention towards your breath and begin to deepen that breath, inhaling and exhaling? No forcing, just allowing. Noticing how the breath moves in and out of the lungs. And as you inhale and notice how the breath moves in and out of the lungs, you'll begin to notice awareness in the rest of your body. Where is the breath catching? Where perhaps is there resistance or holding? I have a tendency to notice it in my hips. And if I soften through the hips, then I find that I can lift a little higher in my crown, growing taller, bring the ears back over my shoulders. All these little tiny micro movements coming into your body, coming into your own divine experience. We're going to begin to deepen the breath a little bit deeper, noticing that the belly button expands out, away from the body on the inhale. And on the exhale, it draws back in. And on the inhale, it expands out. And on the exhale, it draws in. Following the breath. Noticing what happens as I stop talking and the room grows quiet. And the one thing you have to focus on is your breath. Knowing that I'm still here with you, bringing your attention to that inhale, that exhale. In the next inhale, we're going to begin to soften our gaze back into the room and invite the body to standing. So whatever it looks like in your body to go from the floor, or if you're sitting on a chair, to come up to standing. Step to the front of your mat. Take a nice deep inhale in. Exhale the hands down. We're just going to do sun arms. So feet are hip distance apart, inhaling the hands up, exhaling the hands down, inhaling the hands up, Exhaling the hands down. One more time, nice deep breath in. Nice long exhale. Inhaling only the right arm up. I might be opposite of you, but lengthen all the way over the body. Letting that left hand go down the side of the body. There's no leaning through the hips. This is all about the upper body. Inhaling up. Exhaling that hand down. Inhaling the left hand up. Exhaling. Reaching it over. Inhaling the body back up. Exhaling the hand down. Again, inhaling the hand up. Exhaling, reaching over. Now we're going to stay here for 3 breaths. So slow that breath down. Find the inhale, the exhale. Grow long through your crown. Nicely done. Inhaling, coming back up. Exhaling down. Inhaling the other hand up. Exhaling over. Finding that breath. Locking in. 2 more. Inhaling, drawing up. Exhaling the hand down. This time we're going to inhale both hands up, and we're going to exhale, swan dive forward, heading into half sun salutations. If your hands can reach the floor, do that. Inhale halfway up, exhaling down, inhaling reverse swan dive, just inviting some movement into the body. Exhaling the hands down center line. Beginning again, inhaling, circling around. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhaling down. Inhaling, reverse swan dive. We're going to do 3 more of these at your own pace, following your breath. So beginning here. As you complete your last one, as your hands come down center line, resting in Anjali Mudra, take a moment to feel your feet root down into the earth. Lift those toes up, give them some space, spread them out. Feel those knees, just do a slight turn as if they're going to turn out to your little toes. Lifting up through the quads, the tops of your thighs. Dropping out of that pelvis, even though there's a slight lift through the pelvic floor. Belly button comes to the spine, back of the spine. Drawing tall and the shoulders back and down. Lifting through your crown. Just notice what it feels like to stand rooted into the earth, breathing into it. And the next inhale, bring your hands down beside you, looking down at your feet. Pour into the left foot, crossing the right foot over the left leg. We're heading into some hip work here. So knees are soft, pelvic floor is strong. We're going to just imagine that you have a hold of your hips here, hinging forward at the hips, letting your behind stick out behind you. Headed forward into a forward fold here. Now, you're going to feel this in the left hip, in that piriformis muscle. So that's a teeny little muscle that goes right across here. This is such an important muscle because the sciatic nerve is passing through that muscle. So hands can go all the way to the floor. If you could reach the floor here, do that. If not, hands can go on your shin, or blocks are always a nice option here too. Find your breath, tip through that chin so the back of your neck opens. Find where this posture begins to hold you. So you're still rooting down in through your feet, working through the pelvic floor to create balance. And notice that the opening in the hip begins to happen on the exhale. So as you inhale, imagine that everything you no longer need can be blown out on the exhale, releasing the hip muscle, opening the hamstrings, finding the lengthening through the legs. 2 more breaths. Nicely done. Inhaling, rising up. You can help yourself up if you need to. Inhaling those hands up overhead. Legs are still crossed. We're going to cross our hands and just give a little stretch through the shoulders here. So draw down through the shoulder blades. Beginning to invite the arms into this practice. Breathing into it. Still standing with our legs crossed, knees slightly bent. No locking of the knees. Releasing those hands. Exhaling. Swan dive forward. Really hinge at the hips. We're headed right back into the same leg. So my left knee likes to lock. And so I have to consciously think about lifting up through the pelvic floor, softening through that knee, tipping my chin. Instead of looking up, I'm lengthening the back of my neck. Shoulders are down. Roll them down your back. Find where the release occurs in your body. Notice how this time might be a little less stressful. The floor might be a little bit closer. Find your breath. Stay with it. Three more. Nice holding here. Holding the posture versus holding your breath. On the next inhale, begin your journey up. Walk yourself up if you need to. Inhale your hands up. Exhale your hands down center line. Uncross those legs. Come back into mountain pose. Take a quick look and make sure that the feet are in line with one another and hip distance apart. Nice deep breath in. Inhaling the hands up overhead. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Inhaling halfway up. Notice the difference from the left leg to the right leg. Exhaling down. Inhaling, reverse swan dive. Exhaling, hands down center line. Begin again. We're going to do 2 more. I'm going to grow quiet, let you have the space, the journey on your own. Beginning again. One more, all the way through. See if you can slow it down a little bit. As you return to standing Anjali Mudra, sink down into those feet one more time. Really anchor into the earth. Release the hands down beside you. Pour your weight into your right foot. Cross that left foot over the right foot. remembering not to lock the knees. So if you have to let your foot be in front of you a little bit, that's okay, you can do that. If you have the space to bring them back parallel with one another, that's awesome. I'm kind of halfway between. And one side might be different than the other side. Hinging at the hips, engaging that pelvic floor, and head it forward. Notice how this hip is different than the other one. We're now working the right hip. Tip through that chin, bringing those hands down. If you have blocks and you want to use those for support, you may. You can certainly hang on to your shin. Or if you have really nice, beautiful, flexible hamstrings, you might even be able to touch the floor. So draw those shoulders back, lengthen through the crown of the head. Remember to breathe. Remember to allow that breath to flow. Yoga is with breath. Breath is our life force. When we hold our breath, we stop our life force. So a lot of times when we become afraid, we'll hold our breath. That's the time we need to bring our breath into the situation. If we become excited, we'll hold our breath, breathe into it. Noticing that on the exhale is when the release occurs. 2 more breaths. Lengthening through the crown of that head. On the next inhale, begin your journey up. Keeping those feet crossed, inhaling those hands up overhead. Do you remember which hand you crossed with? Do it the reverse. It's going to feel backwards. So I just do the back of my palms to each other. Some people are super flexible through their shoulders. This is enough for me. I feel a long line of energy all the way from the bottom of my feet up my legs. It's almost a spinning energy that kind of wraps around the spine, grows long, all the way out through the top of my head, crossing through the backs of the palms of my hands. Notice if you can feel it. You can close your eyes if you're not dizzy. Find your breath. Draw those shoulder blades down. Nicely done. Inhaling, opening the arms. Exhaling, swan dive forward, back into this forward fold, deep hip opener. And I have no balance this morning on this side. So it's an interesting phenomenon that when you begin to cross the pathways of the body will begin to reveal to you where the tension is, where your holding is. This is actually a balance posture. Clearly, I have very little balance on this side today. So, head forward, hinging at the hips, staying with it, breathing into it. Feel that hip begin to open. Notice where you're hanging on. Are you hanging on in the hip? Are you hanging on in the front of your legs? And for those of you who are super tight in the hips, it might be really nice if you're at home to, even grab a chair, because sometimes it's nice to have the floor be that far up, is at the base of a chair, the seat of the chair. Especially if you don't have blocks, or a coffee table or a couch, wherever you're at. Create nice support for yourself. Yoga is about honoring where your body is. We're still breathing, finding our breath. On the next inhale, begin your journey up. All the way up, hands up overhead. Stepping out of this, swan dive forward. Double check your feet, make sure they're hip distance apart. Inhaling halfway up. Exhaling down. Inhaling, reverse swan dive. We're going to do 2 more of those. So exhale your hands down center line. Inhaling, circling around. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhaling down. Last one on your own. All the way through. All the way through. As you come to standing Anjali Mudra, take a minute. Notice what's different in the body. Just notice. So you need a strap. So hopefully everybody has a strap or a belt. And if you don't, just do the very best that you can. So still in standing, we're going to put the strap into our right hand and bring it behind us. And then take a hold of it with the left hand. Now, some of you are stretchy enough that you're going to be able to clasp your hands behind your back. This doesn't work in my body, so I use a strap to make my arms longer. And then as I bring my hands as close as they can come together, I give just a slight tug against each other so that it increases the stretch. This becomes an active stretch. So we're nice and strong here. Breathing into it. Nowhere to go. Allowing the arms to unwind. Lengthen in their own time. Breathing into it. 2 more breaths. Nicely done. Last one. Soften the grip on the top hand, letting the bottom hand bring that strap around. Open those arms wide into a T position and switch directions. So now you have the left hand up, the right hand down. And you're going to notice a difference in this side to the other side. I really notice my tricep in this one. So I have to really think hard about pulling my ears back over my shoulder, lengthening up through my crown, and then walking my hands together. The head sometimes thinks it needs to move out of the way, but actually it does not. It just needs to be nice and tall and long. Breathing into it. Find your breath. Feel the opening begin to happen. So this catches not only the triceps, which is the back of your arm, but it catches all the way down underneath the armpit through a muscle group called the teres major and minor, the serratus anterior. Those are muscles between the ribs. Really important, especially during this time of so much change in the world. We need to be able to breathe. And so opening up those muscle tissues between the rib gives us space to really expand into the lungs. Breathe into it. All heart space action. One more breath. And release that top hand again. We always want to release the top hand so we don't knock ourselves in the head with our belt. Bring that left hand behind you. And if you have a belt, take a hold of it shoulder width apart behind you. If not, you can clasp your hands. We're going to lift the arms straight up off the back. Now, as you do this, you're going to feel your shoulder blades work down your back. So the shoulder blades are going to go down the back. The arms are going to come up. Bring your ears back. So when I mean bring your ears back over your shoulders, we have a tendency nowadays to carry our head forward because we're always looking down. So what would it feel like to bring that head back and grow tall through the crown? Lift those arms up. Breathe into it. Let this be about the arms. Nothing else at this moment. Soften through the hips. Engage that pelvic floor. Bring that belly button back. Again, lengthening through the crown. 2 more breaths. Last one. Let it down. All right, some of you have the ability to bring your hands to prayer position behind your back. I do not, so I'm not even going to show it. But if those of you who've done it before want to do it, you can. Again, we're going to cross our right foot over our left foot. All right, so we're coming into this twist. We're going to, this cross-legged forward fold. So grow tall in the crown. Inhale, lift the arms, shoulder blades down. And as your arms come to the point where they won't lift anymore, begin to dive forward. Now, you may not go as far forward, or you might go farther. But let your hands kind of guide this. Remember to keep drawing those shoulder blades down your back, lifting the arms up, because what happens is the shoulder blades want to go on vacation and come clear up by your neck. But that is a different posture. Here, we're working to draw the shoulder blades down, the hands up, hinging at the hips, breathing, all of these things. 2 more breaths. Lifting up through the hands, coming back up, softening through the shoulders. Don't let them go, just let them rest against your behind. Uncross the legs, coming into mountain here, just passing through, crossing the left foot over the right foot, inhaling, lifting through the arms, exhaling, hinging forward, remembering to soften the knees, no locking them. Find your breath. If you're having trouble balancing, open your eyes and look at a point. Find something to focus on. Two more breaths. Nicely done. Inhaling, coming all the way up. Exhaling, stepping out of that. Release those arms. Give yourself a big hug around the front. Draw that head back. Lift up through those arms. Open the arms wide. Cross the arms the other direction. Lift up. Nicely done. Exhaling it down. Very good. So still in mountain pose, we're going to do a balance. If you have a strap, go ahead and hook it underneath your left foot. So I'm probably going to be opposite of you. For those of you at home, if you want to have a chair to help you, you can. Otherwise, just lift as high as you can here. So this actually in full posture, you'd be having a hold of your big toe, but my big toe is too far away. So as you pour into your right foot, balance off your hips, and then raise that left foot straight up in front of you. Find your breath. Find your balance. Don't be looking at me, I'm wobbling all over the place today. 2 more breaths. Last one, lower it down. Step that foot wide. Give yourself big circles. We've done lots of hip openers here already, and we haven't really been anywhere. We've just been in standing posture. Circle it around, nicely done. Coming back into mountain pose. Belt comes underneath the right foot. Pour into your left foot as you're ready. Engage that pelvic floor. Find your drishti, find your point to look at. Lock in on it. If you're super stretchy in the hamstring, grab that big toe. Kick that leg out in front of you. Find your breath. 2 more. Last one, lower it down, nicely done. You can release that belt, keep it nearby. We're going to use it again when we go back to seated position. Open those feet wide. Turn those toes out. Sink down into squat, wide angle squat. Hands come right out on your knees. This is the one posture where your shoulders can come up near your ears. And I'm really not too concerned about it, but let that tail drop low. And then we're gonna add some Kapalabhati breath. So find a point to look at, and then Kapalabhati breath is the pumping of the stomach. So it's short breaths through the nose. Blow it all the way out. Hold the breath out. Tip your chin. Keep holding. Inhale, drawing all the way up. Big inhale. So, Kapalabhati breath, sometimes if you have to blow your nose, you might need to do that. But it's short breaths with the pumping of the stomach. And when you pump the stomach, the diaphragm is doing the work. And it's a really warming breath. So we're going to try it again. Do your best. If you find that you get dizzy, you can slow the breath down. It's okay. So hands out to the knees, sinking down. Growing long in the crown. And as you're ready, Kapalabhati breath. Pump that belly. Pump it. Blow it all the way out. Tip that chin. Pull up through the pelvic floor. Feel the lock in the center. Hold the breath. Hold it. And inhale, nice and long. Inhale. Nice and long, regular breath. One more time, we're gonna do that one more time. Now, if you're feeling dizzy at all, just do the squat without the Kapalabhati breath. This changes the pressure in the lungs. Sometimes you get a little dizzy, and so you wanna just slow your exhales down. All right, nice deep breath in. Exhale, blow it out. Kapalabhati breath, right here. Keep going if you can. Blow it all the way out. Lock it at the breath out. Tip that chin. Keep holding. Inhale, nice and tall. Very nicely done. Hands on your hips. Turn those toes forward. Just right here. Find your breath. Slow it down. If you're dizzy at all, let your exhale be longer than your inhale. One more. Very nicely done. Inhaling those hands open into 5-pointed star. Drop out of your shoulders. Begin to even out your breath. 3-part breath in, 3-part breath out. You'll begin to feel the body begin to regulate and normalize. Nicely done. Spin that left foot open. We're going to head into triangle. So as you find your feet locking into the earth, hinge at the hips, sliding across the body, and tip that body open. Noticing how the energy is moving. Now, your head can look straight ahead. It can look up at your hand up here, or it can also look at the floor. The important thing is that you're growing long in your crown and you're spinning open. So this is a twist and a wide angle lateral opener, side body opener, lots happening in triangle. Find your breath. Lock it in. I'm going to go quiet for 5 breaths. So if your mind's wanting to jump in and play in this party, find your breath. Focus on the breath. Nicely done. Stay with it. If you need a break, you can come out of this. If you have the space to stay here, let's do 5 more breaths. Child's pose is a great option. Next inhale, inhaling, coming up, coming back to 5-pointed star. If you need a break in your arms, just let them come down. Roll the shoulders back once, roll them forward once, and then spin open through that right foot. Inhale those arms back up, hinge at the hips, all the way over, tip right on into triangle. Find where the posture begins to hold you. So remember that front leg is long. It's not locked, it's long. Breathe into it. Spin it open, go long in the crown. Nowhere to go. Nothing to do. Anchoring into the earth. Lengthening through the crown. Inviting the pelvic floor in. Focusing on your breath. And if you need a break, go to child's pose. Otherwise, we're going to hang out here for 5 more breaths. Check in. Is your belly button to your spine? Are you lengthening through your crown? Are your ears over your shoulders? Two more breaths. You can do it. Last one. Inhaling, coming up, tipping out of it. Exhaling your hands down. Feet come back forward. Hands on your hips. Take a nice long deep breath. Shoulders roll back and down. Up and forward. Sometimes you'll feel the ribs moving. Nice deep breath in, hinging at the hips right here. Let those hands come down. Let it be a supported forward fold. Lengthening through the crown. Nice deep breath. Very nicely done. Inhaling, drawing back up. We're going to step back to the front of our mat. We're going to take a nice deep inhale in. Exhaling, swan dive forward. Hands come on either side of the feet, stepping all the way back into downward facing dog. We're just going to have one quick dog here just to balance out our standing. So walk through it. Find your dog. I always have to walk into dog. And then I can go into my static hold of tail lifting to the sky, heart working towards the knees, no tension in the neck, breathing into it. Nicely done. One more breath. Lower those knees down, coming all the way down into seated position. So find those sit bones. No blanket here. We're going to be directly on the floor. So we're going to go into what's called Gomukhasa. It's known in English as cow pose. So first thing we're going to do is take our right leg, pull it all the way over in front of us, as if our knee is in line with our hip. Now, this might be your posture for you today. However, if you have the space to cross that leg, do that. And if you have the space to lay that foot down and allow the knees to stack on top of each other, that's where we're headed. Okay? So, strap is nearby. With the left knee is in front of you, we're going to put the strap in the right hand. We're going to bring it behind us and walk those hands together. This is about as pretzely as I get in class. So sink down into both hips, grow long in your crown, and drop into it. You're going to feel this down your right IT band, through the piriformis of the hip, through the gluteus maximus and the gluteus medius. So what all that means is through your butt and your thigh and your hip. Breathe into it. Now for the fun part, open your mouth and stick your tongue out and say, ah. Deep breath in. Ah. One more time, deep breath in. Ah. And regular breath. What can you soften and still be supported? Two more breaths. And release that strap, taking a hold of that right hand onto the left knee and twisting around. Find this twist. This is a nice deep twist here. Soften through the legs. Shoulders are down, bring long in the crown, looking over your shoulder. Breathing into it. Three more breaths. I'm going to grow quiet. I'm still here. Inhaling, turning that head back to center, bringing the body back. Nicely done. Uncross those legs. Set them wide. Hands come behind you, and then rock them side to side. Open those hips up. Little twisting happening here. Lift through the heart, little back bend. And now we're going to switch sides, and we're going to let the left leg come down. So the knee is going to be in line with the hip. Now be mindful that if you have any knee injuries, that you can leave your leg out here, or you can just simply stay in easy pose and do this. It's okay to go to easy pose and do this. Cross that right leg on top. This is a great hip opener. Catches the IT band. So sit down into it. Find where Gomukhasa holds you. It might be all tangled up and twisty. It might be an easy pose, and that's okay. Now we are going to bring the strap into the left hand, dropping that behind us, and walk those hands together. There it is, right there. Breathe into it. Bring those shoulders back. Grow nice and tall. Close your eyes. Open your mouth, stick out your tongue. Ah, give it some noise. Deep breath in. Ah, ah. Find your normal breath. Three more breaths. I'm going to stay quiet. Release those arms down, setting that strap down, bringing that hand, that left hand onto the right knee, right hand behind you. Twist it all the way around. Look over your shoulder. Nice deep twist. Make sure you're not leaning back on that back hand. Drop out of your shoulder, grow long through the crown. Tip that chin down, breathe into it. Find your breath. Bring it out. On the next inhale, bring your head forward, and then follow it with the shoulders coming all the way forward. Take a hold of each one of your ankles and just give a nice lift through the heart here. And then exhale back. And inhale up. And exhale back one more time. Just a little cat-cow with this legs crossed. And if you're in easy pose, your hands are on your knees. One more, all the way through, inhaling and exhaling, nicely done. Beautiful. Uncrossing those legs, stepping them slightly wider than hip distance. Hand comes behind you on either side of the hips and rock them side to side. So we're catching a little twisting here. Stick out that heart. Let it reach for the sun. Nicely done. Beautiful. So from right here, spin around on your mat so that you're on your mat if you're not already. Hands are behind you. We're going to lift straight up into reverse table. Right here. You may not have your body flat, but you might. Lengthen through that crown. 2 more breaths. And lower down. Hands come underneath your thighs. Exhale, we're going to roll part of the way down. We're going to inhale up. Now, level 1 is with your hands behind your knees. And we're going to do these reverse sit-ups. So we're just moving with this. Now, if this is okay, and you feel like you're ready for the next level, hands come out beside you. Down and up. Now, I'm going to tell you about level 3, but I'm not going to do level 3. Level 3 is you pick your feet up and go back and forth too. That takes a great deal of core strength. So for those of you who've been practicing yoga a long time, and that feels like something you want to do, feel free. I'm going to work at level 2. However, if level 1 is where you're at, support that. Don't ask your body to do more than what it's ready to do. So we're exhaling as we go down, and we're inhaling as we come up. And this is about the right pace. Imagine that you're holding a block between your knees. So we're engaging the adductors. We're going to do 5 more. You can do it. If you need to change your level, change it. It's okay. 4 more. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. All the way down this time. Hands up overhead. Point those fingers, point those toes. Take a deep breath in and let it go with a big sigh. Ah, good work. You're on the floor. That's awesome. Now, if you're off your mat, you might wiggle down onto your mat and bring your feet into standing, getting ready for some pelvic tilts and then into bridge. So walk those feet in close to your behind. If you have a block or a ball or something you can put between your knees just to give you the idea of engaging those adductor muscles. The adductor muscles are the insides of your thighs. Then we're going to exhale, draw that pelvic floor in. Inhale, release it out. Exhale, draw it in. Inhale, release it out. Now this is not a very big movement. It's drawing the pubic bone to the belly button. And the belly button is almost like it has a string on the back side of your belly button and it's pulling down to the floor. Okay? This is a really powerful, great core strengthener. It's very supportive of the low back. So if you have low back pain, if you do 20 of these in the morning before you get out of bed and 20 of these at night before you get up, before you go to sleep, you will have no back pain because your core will be so nice and supportive. So we're gonna just hang out here and we're following our breath. We're exhaling out, inhaling, releasing it, exhaling, drawing it in, inhaling, releasing it, exhaling, drawing it in, inhaling, releasing it. We're gonna do 10 more at your own pace. I'll try to breathe loud so you can hear me. We have 5 more to go. So this is 5. Two more, you can do it. Last one. Hold it in, but keep breathing, keep holding. Find your breath. So as you're nice and strong here, through the center of your body, scoop those shoulder blades underneath you, and on the next exhale, walk those feet in, take a nice deep inhale, still holding strong, exhaling, lifting up into bridge. There it is, there's your bridge. Find your breath. On the next inhale, get ready to exhale and lift a little bit higher. 3 more breaths. Last one. Exhale, lower down 1 vertebra at a time. All the way down. Release those knees to your chest. Good work today. Ask yourself, hey self, you did such a great job today. What yummy position would you like? Would you like another downward facing dog? Perhaps another triangle? Or maybe you're just ready for Shavasana. Follow what the body needs. And then as you're ready, begin to find your way into Shavasana, which is corpse pose. Corpse pose is the most important posture at the end of class. Very important that you really allow your body to have this position because it gives the body an opportunity to incorporate everything that you've asked it to do today. So allow the feet to fall open and the core to soften. Letting go through the arms and the shoulders, allowing the hands to fly open. And the eyes grow heavy and the mind slips away. It's not here, it's not there. Open heart, open mind. As we open our heart, it gives others permission to open their heart. Open heart creates space for the mind to open. An open mind allows for compassion. Compassion for self to be who we truly are today. Compassion for others to be who they truly are today. Open heart, open mind. Compassion for self, compassion for others. True healing. Gently begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes. And as you're ready, bring yourself back to now. Roll to your right side, pressing up, coming into seated position, hands at your heart. We'll do one Om to close. So take a nice deep breath in and then we'll Om. Namaste.